I'll start over. Good morning, everybody. My name is Diane Covington. I'm the very, very proud director of the Dynamite Unit, #1 in our national area, and just qualified for our 15th Pink Cadillac. And you are in for such a treat this morning to get a chance to hear from Kayla Shaw. She's actually on the East Coast this morning and doing a retreat and doing some stuff. And I just am super excited for you all to get to know her. If you are a guest, I want to welcome you. Good morning, my dear. If you are a guest, please put your name in the chat section and let us know who invited you, because we're going to do a little giveaway and a drawing. And we're also going to give away an e-start. So if you're a guest, if what you hear this morning inspires you, or you think, gosh, you know what, I really want to give this a try, just type in the chat section, I'm in for free. And we're going to give away an e-start, which means you'd have an opportunity to start your Mary Kay business for free. So welcome, Brittany. Super glad that you're on. I know Maddie's going to be jumping on just a little bit. So anyway, I want to welcome each and every one of you. So thank you for being on this morning. Before I introduce Kayla really quick, I want to just share with you guys a tiny little bit about what Mary Kay's been doing since we went COVID. The company, of course, is a global company. All of our products are made in Dallas, Texas, because we get asked that a lot, like where are the products made? This is actually a picture of our beautiful manufacturing plants, the size of 3 football fields. And do you know, the week that we got shut down due to COVID, the government contacted Mary Kay and asked us to make hand sanitizer, which was interesting because we've never made hand sanitizer. But to date, we've made over 800,000 bottles and donated them across the United States. So it's just exciting to see what this company can do and the global impact. This is David Hall, our CEO of Mary Kay, an amazing visionary man. And of course, I do want to make sure, most importantly, that you know about the woman Mary Kay. She was an actual person. Started our company in 1963. You know, she had a vision. She just had a vision for women to have unlimited opportunity, and got passed over and was training the new male employee, and then they promoted him to be her boss. And I think that was the tipping point where Mary Kay said, I'm done. So she started this amazing company, and now, of course, it's global. And so this is our US headquarters right outside of Dallas. And you know, it's interesting because Mary Kay was 48 years old when she started this company. And what a vision she had to make such a huge, huge difference. So I want to share one other quick picture with you before we introduce Kayla. And this is what our company is doing outside of just the Mary Kay cosmetic world. This is what we're doing globally for the world. So this is pink doing green. So we've planted over 1 million trees. And that picture I just showed you guys of our manufacturing plant, do you know it is powered by 100% renewable energy? And the other thing that was a hard certification to get, it is also completely zero landfill status. So it's amazing how they just have managed to just make all of those things a top priority. All of our packing peanuts are even biodegradable. And then, of course, we have the Mary Kay Foundation, which the company has donated $80 million to help change the lives of women and children around the world, over 50 million in grants to help fight domestic violence, and over 28 million in grants specifically earmarked for cancers that affect women. So it's just amazing to see what this company has done. Now, before I let you guys hear from Kayla, I'm going to show you a quick little video, which I think is the greatest way to introduce her. It just goes to show you some of the things that she has done and what she has achieved. And it's just kind of a fun little intro. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Kayla via video. Make sure I've got my sound on here.
Introducing Mary Kay's very own Black Barbie and leader of the Glam Babes unit, Kayla Shaw. Kayla is the daughter of Reverend Kenneth and National Sales Director Bridget Shaw. She is also the older sister to her big little brother, Josh. Kayla started her Mary Kay business in 2016 as a 21-year-old college student looking for extra income while studying engineering and working as a receptionist. After a tragic house fire, she paused school and pursued her business full-time. Within 4 months, she promoted herself to the top 2% of Mary Kay as an independent sales director, debuting in October 2017. As the leader of the Glam Babes, Kayla broke records, debuting as the youngest car driving director in Charleston, earning 2 cars in 8 months. She's also earned 7 gold medals, 3 double gold medals, and her highest commission check to date has been in excess of $11,000. In 2018, She was crowned the Queen of Sharing for Kathy Hallou's Inner Circle National Area. Over her career, she's also graced the seminar stage twice for Queen's Court of Sharing and twice for Sales, making last year her first time as a double star achiever. In 2019, Kayla was a Destination Red Royal Caribbean cruise earner, earning an all-expense-paid cruise to the Bahamas and the island of Coco Cay. Kayla and the Glam Babes finished their fourth car last month, the Chevy Equinox. That puts them on target for their first pink Cadillac, which will be earned September 30th. Kayla has been featured in a Mary Kay lifestyle video with her mother and enjoys using her platform to do speaking engagements for both Mary Kay and non-Mary Kay events. She is forever grateful for the MK opportunity because it helped her overcome shyness and teaches her to allow God to use her to change other women's lives. Kayla believes wholeheartedly that the universe is not against you. When God gives you a vision for your life and you step into action with belief that you will achieve, God will deliver. Let's hear it for the stunning, vivacious leader of the Glam Babes and future Cadillac sales director, Kayla Ashley Shaw.
Oh, let's give it up for Kayla. Oh my gosh, that was such a fun video to watch.
Ladies, I just want to say, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can. You are unmuted. And if you are a guest and you just jumped on, if you could put your name in the chat section, we want to make sure you're in the drawing. So Kayla, I'm so excited to hear from you, babe. Take it away.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much, Miss Diane, for allowing me to be able to be in the presence of your amazing women and their guests. I know that it is not taken lightly because we are speaking over women in their hearts. And so I am so excited to be able to share a little bit more about my journey. But I just want to give y'all a fun fact. That is my first time using that video. I was actually a guest speaker for Dr. Lorinda King. I believe she was #1 for our Mary Kay US. And she had me to speak for her. That was her gift to me. Y'all, she made me a video. So exciting. And so that was totally their doing. Only like my second time seeing it. So thank you so much for allowing me to use that. But ladies, you know, one of the first things that people ask me about after, you know, just hearing my story, whether it's viewing the video, is that fire piece. Because I will tell you that fire piece is really where my life changed. That's really where Mary Kay came running into my life. I was one of those Mary Kay babies that fought the idea of following in my mother's footsteps. I thought, you know, oh, that's my mom's thing. I totally love the idea of makeup. I totally love the skincare products, but you heard in my accolades, I was studying engineering. I'm totally not the Mary Kay ideal person, right? And so it wasn't until hitting that rough spot of the house fire, having to pause on school and come home, realizing that I didn't like that little taste of the real world. I didn't want to work a job. I loved the flexibility that my mom had in her business, just watching, you know, how she was able to be so present. She was so present in me and my brother's life. And I realized that's something that I desire. And so I did. After that fire, ladies, I decided that I would come home back to kind of paint a vision for you. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. I don't know if any of you have ever visited. It is a beautiful town, but I was in school in Columbia, so only a few hours away. So it totally made me have to uproot the life that I knew. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to dive into Mary Kay and I'm going to work it seriously. I want to know what me, I think it was a thin 22-year-old, can do if she seriously commits to her business instead of running back to a job. So, you know, one thing that stands out to me about the Mary Kay opportunity is the sisterhood. The sisterhood is nothing I've ever seen before. When we had that house fire, ladies, there were women all throughout the company of Mary Kay that were calling, writing, sending gift cards, asking what we need, sending checks made out with, you know, large amounts, just women that I'd never met before, women that have never met my mother before. This was before she became a national sales director. So just imagine being a director in Mary Kay Cosmetics, and your senior shares with the Mary Kay world that, you know, you've lost everything, and the outpour of women with love in their hearts for you who don't know you. That was amazing to me. The red, you guys, I can speak with joy now. I was actually in the home while it was burning, actually packing up to go back to school. So it was very traumatic. The only time that I had was enough to grab one dog in the left hand, one dog in the right hand, and fumbling to dial 911 with both, you know, both hands filled. So it was traumatic, but as you can see, no lives were lost, and they rebuilt a beautiful home. So it was truly a blessing in disguise. But I really feel like something beautiful rose from those ashes. Just being able to see how everyone rallied together. So the Red Cross person was there. Typically, they come after a fire to see what you need. But because they saw all of our Mary Kay family that was local had driven their respective place, and waiting with us, and people calling, even our neighborhood was setting up like donation spots. It was just, I can't even paint the image for you. But the Red Cross guy said, "Who are you people?" And I still couldn't answer that to this day. We're just normal people. My dad was, you know, is a pastor. He's the coach of my little brother's football team. And my mom's just the Mary Kay lady. They know her for her pink Cadillac. We're average people. But that is something that I do not feel you could find anywhere. That is so divine. And so it totally gave me a new respect for Mary Kay. It's something that I'm willing to fight to always be a part of, and something that I will always appreciate, knowing that I have a group of women that are there for me, and that I could be that sister to someone else. So that fire, because I was getting ready to head back to school, I was already in Mary Kay, y'all, for a short time before that fire. I had joined just to kind of get my products at a discount. And you know, I was still young-minded, if I could say. And so it was definitely not something that I worked seriously until that fire, because that fire, once, like I said earlier, made me kind of have to uproot. It made me get serious. It made me evaluate. And I decided I don't want to go back to where I was, a JOB, a receptionist. I would like to finish school, but right now that's not where I am emotionally. And so that is typically where I dived into my business. And within 4 months of starting my business and working it consistently, I earned my first car. They pay car payments, they pay taxes, they pay tags, they pay 85% of your insurance. It is amazing as a 20 something, really at any age, to be able to save so much. That's like awesome, right? To be able to drive for free, of course, an earned car. In those same 4 months, I promoted myself to a sales director. That is really where my life changed. I always like to say, my favorite part about Mary Kay is probably the platform to be able to share my testimony, to be able to share my journey. I feel like every single woman has a voice, whether she knows how or decides to use it or not. And I feel that's really why we are here, to be able to show someone else what we were able to navigate through and what we were able to accomplish, so that they can see themselves in us, and they can then turn around, if they're discouraged, to continue on their path of their purpose. Okay, we're all here working together to share our stories. And so I love that platform piece. I love this part. This excites me to be able to share with other women. But just imagine yourself if you were, you know, starting a new business, you're super excited, and you get invited to go to this special education week for being a brand new sales director in this business. When I tell you, we have this, it's called New Director Education. And I'm just right now talking about the pieces of Mary Kay that stands out to me and why I love it so much. And, you know, I'm speaking on this because it is so unique. These are things that you learn in life. I feel like we have almost we're ahead of the game in the Mary Kay world versus non-Mary Kay. only reason I'm saying that is because we're literally thrusted into a world of such successful women who are pouring into you with so much more than just business knowledge. And I'm going to get to what it is soon. Okay. But they're pouring into you, teaching you so many different things. And there are women that are almost never exposed to those kind of things, or they have to pay so much more when it's included in what we get like on a daily basis. Okay. And so that is another piece that I love about Mary Kay, because it is literally teaching me to be a phenomenal woman because I am surrounded by such phenomenal women in Mary Kay. So about those training tidbits that we get at New Director Education, they're teaching you things about your image that you might not ever know. Like they're teaching you, you always want to represent yourself in the highest. We all know, carry yourself with respect. But as Mary Kay, we always say we want to be one cut above. So they're teaching you about your hair. I'm just throwing out some funky stuff that I learned. If you haven't gotten a compliment on your hair in like the last 2 weeks, maybe you should cut it, grow it, dye it, buy some more of it. I know it's funny, but some people have never been taught how to represent their best selves, right? They're teaching you about money management because we have the potential to earn a lot of money with Mary Kay. But imagine if you come from a family, a dynamic that has never earned much money, right? You're not going to really know what to do with that once you get it. And so I love that these women are just as dedicated as helping you earn the money to keeping the money. Okay. The relationship with God, you heard in my accolades, my father is a pastor. So it's important to me that you keep God first, and that you are using this platform to honor him. He is truly your first business partner. Okay. And so I love that my grand national is what I call her. My national now is my mother, but before her was Kathy Halou. She was like, her training was Bible based. This is how I grew up in Mary Kay. It was all about God. It was all about how to build a relationship with him. It was all about how you can include him while teaching and bringing other women up in this business. You just don't see that everywhere. It is so unique. And I feel like I forever am indebted to Mary Kay, because to be in my 20s and to have such wisdom, to have such confidence, and such experience from those type of trainings, you just don't see that everywhere. And so that's another great thing about this Mary Kay journey. I also just have to say, a part of the sisterhood as well, I have a girlfriend, like, you have to excuse my background. I'm at a celebration for being one of the top 5 directors. And so if you hear some loud outbursts, there's some directors and their husbands in the background. Please forgive me in advance, okay? But one of my girlfriends, I am young still. And so I noticed the difference in my relationships outside of Mary Kay and in Mary Kay. In Mary Kay, there are women who will call you, text you, and they're asking you, what do you need prayer for? Would you like to join our group? We're fasting because we want to have certain things, and they'll list out certain things that they want to show up in their lives. We're going to start fasting for our unit members, our business partners. Once again, just things that you don't typically see as a 20-year-old, right? I see Lori with her mouth open, like, yes, it is amazing. It is amazing. And so that is one thing that I will say, if you are the type of woman that is not really in it for the money, we make great money. But if you're looking for some fulfillment, you're looking for that love and belonging piece, you're looking for sisters that will bring you up, Mary Kay is it, okay? How about the unlimited earning potential? Y'all, who in their 20s do you know that's making $10,000 and above in a month? You might not ever know people that are making that kind of income. And I am not saying this to brag, but I'm saying it because if I can do it, you can do it too. I cannot tell you the amazing things I've been exposed to because my mom said yes to a woman on a cruise ship. She was on vacation to the Bahamas to hear more about the Mary Kay opportunity. Who does that on vacation? But I'm so grateful that woman was willing to open her mouth because here I am today being able to speak on, being able to build wealth in my 20s, but also being able to pass that on. So, I am a money girl, but I'm also love and belonging, kind of mix all of that in there. I think money buys you choices. And so I do think it is important, but it's not the only thing. It should not be the focus of your work. Okay. How about investing for your future? This is something that I've been thinking on heavily, that I'm so grateful that I can make the kind of money that I want. Maybe one month I might make 10,000, 5,000, and then the next month I can make 20,000, 30,000. It really is depending on the work that you do, because you create your own income, right? And so what I'm saying is the business potential, I'm able to, with no problem, be able to set my children up and maybe even their children up for wealth and success, because of the opportunity with this business. So think about those things when you're pondering on if this business is for you. Okay. What about the flexibility? Some of you ladies are already great. I know that women come in this business for several different reasons. Okay. And so as far as the flexibility, some women already have the income that they're looking for. They may already have great cars, so they're not really interested in the free cars, but they just want to know that maybe they can spend more time with their grandchildren or their children. Okay, they want to know that they've already worked a full half of life indebted to a job. Maybe you're retired and you're looking for something fun, but something that will give you purpose, okay? But something that you can do in your own time. So it still won't take away from your priorities. That's another reason why Mary Kay is something that you should look at, okay? You can vacation when you want. You can even work on vacation if that's something that you want to do. How about that? But you are no longer having to ask a boss to request your time off, right? So vacation when you want. Choose your own schedule, literally. My mom, when she started her business, she was very busy. So was my father. My father was in seminary to be a pastor. He was in the army. He was working full time. My mom was working full time. And she had me. I was only one. So they were a house on wheels. I can remember her story verbatim. She literally only had 1 to 3 hours a week, not a day, a week to start out with in her Mary Kay business. And with that schedule, within a year and 3 months, she was able to completely quit her full-time job. She resigned and she's been full-time employed with Mary Kay I'm 27 now, and so 26 years she's been full-time with Mary Kay, and she's actually the first Black woman in the state of South Carolina to reach the top position of Mary Kay as a Mary Kay millionaire. And once again, she started with just a slither of time that she can commit. Okay, so it is totally up to you the time that you want to give to this business. There is no one that's going to tell you it's too little or it's too much. Okay, one more thing I want to say about that frustration piece. I know my time is almost coming to a close. I put a timer on. I'm very serious about people's time. I look at that transitional stage of college. And, I obviously took the time to pause from school after that fire, but my friends continued on. When I look at my situation right now, being a business owner, and my friends who are right now working jobs, I've seen that in the last 5 years, many of them have not gotten raises, and if they did, they were not much at all, like very disappointing. I've seen my friends like have breakdowns, having to go part-time and then back to full-time and back to part-time because of literally the stress on them of that job, being overworked, being underpaid. And, they look at me and they're seeing this lifestyle, and I know they're feeling like it's too good to be true. But when I look at it, it is also worth it. It is also worth it. This company does not guarantee that you're going to get rich quick. It's not a business where you come in and you're just going to shoot to the top unless you are a superstar. I will not take that from you. It's a business that you have to build with consistency. It's a business that you have to treat like a baby, and you help it to grow. And when it grows to where it needs to be, it will continue to work, or it will continue to grow, and it will then take care of you. Okay, so I first don't want to I want to make sure that I'm not giving off that the business is just going to happen like that. It's something that you have to take care of. Okay, but I can see In the 5 years that I've worked my business, I've earned 4 cars. I've earned paychecks over $11,000 consistently. I'm bringing in other women that are able to grow in their business versus other friends of mine who are just not having that same experience working for someone else. And so I just hope that you're listening with an open heart and an open mind. Mary Kay may not be for everyone. But it is definitely worth pondering. Okay, it's definitely worth pondering. I will say having the reach and the platform, like I said, is my favorite part about this business. Because even if it's not something that you choose to do, you leave knowing that there's another way. You leave knowing that what you're doing right now doesn't always have to be. You leave with some hope. And that's what I aspire to give is hope. I will say at 27, I would not have seen the things that I've seen, met the phenomenal women that I've met, become the person that I am if it wasn't for this company. So, what an opportunity to be fulfilled in your work because you're making other women feel amazing. First of all, that's all we do. That's all we do is we teach women about how to care for their skin better. We may teach them how to do a little contour and highlight with their color. They feel more confident. They're excited. They purchase the products. Their skin feels great. And then we get paid for it. And then you can turn around and say, is this something that you've ever considered? All you have to do is play in some products. Literally, that's what we do. We party and play in some products, teaching women how to take better care of themselves. And then we offer them the opportunity to do the same. And then they, in turn, get to elevate their families. Okay. And so I will say this last few things. I'm not sure if you're going to share this, and so I didn't want to leave it out, Miss Diane, but we're not a multi-level marketing company. That's something that I wanted to be sure of before I came into this business. So you're not going to take any money from anyone that comes under you. So let me make this simple. We're direct sales, okay? There's no middleman. You purchase your products for a 50% discount from the company. When you sell them directly to your clients, you get your profit. You don't have to split that with anyone else. That is your money, okay? We also have a 90% money back guarantee. I was a broke college student when I signed up. I did not have any money to be losing if something did not work, right? And so I was pleased to know that if this business didn't work, me and my parents didn't have to break up, they wouldn't have to, be disappointed in me because I could get my money back. And also it was the no quotas. Okay. The no quotas, knowing that this is something totally new to me. I'm not a salesperson, which is great because in Mary Kay, you're not selling, you're just passionate. You're sharing the products that you love and that works for you. And then you're helping other women to figure out what works for them, and they tell you what they want. That's it. I've never had to stand on a corner and wave a flyer, Mary Kay here, Mary Kay here. I've never had to pop my trunk. No, you're simply marketing your own products and you're helping them to decide what works for them, right? Diane's laughing. All right, so no quotas, no territories. We actually have several different startup options. I'm sure Diane's going to talk about that, so I don't want to kind of dive into that. But I will say, to wrap things up, I never could have imagined being able to travel the world with my mother on Mary Kay's dime, being able to pour into other women together. This is actually our ministry. This is what we call it. It truly is a ministry because, once again, regardless of if a woman is signing up to be a consultant with Mary Kay, she leaves inspired, knowing that there are women that have made something out of a totally different opportunity, knowing that if they're in a situation that they do not like, there is no excuse. They do not have to stay there because they've seen it. Women have been selling lipsticks and making great money and they're happy, right? And so knowing that we could pour into other women, seeing them elevate their families, but also building wealth on our own schedule is everything I didn't know that I needed. Right. And so I'm so grateful that you all allowed me the time to pour into you about what this business has done for me, what I love about it. And I just want to go ahead and pass it back to Miss Diane. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Kayla, that was I'm so glad I recorded this. So glad. And I will make sure that you get a copy of the recording. That was amazing. And what I love to hear from you, if you are a guest, make sure you type your name in the chat section if you haven't done that already. But what I love, Kayla, is that you kind of came and say, okay, this is my mom's gig. She's been really successful, but I'm going to do the engineering. And I think we kind of have a little resistance. I did the same thing when my sister joined Mary Kay. I was like, yeah, that might be for you, but that is definitely not for me. And then you watch them grow, you watch them succeed, and you're kind of wanting just a little piece of that. It's like, yeah, I could use that little extra confidence. I could use that extra, whatever. And so it's exciting to see what you've done in such a short period of time. And I just know that your unit will be wrapping up Cadillac by Christmas. So super proud of you for that. You are not married and no kids yet, correct? Okay. So it's just empty finger. Got it. Okay. So I'm excited to see what you do. And, I know you've got your event. So if you have to jump off, that's totally okay. I will send this recording to you, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on. One of the things that, oh, go ahead, sweetie.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm willing, if you want to do a question time, I'm willing to stick in there if anyone wants to personally ask me questions, so I can hang around for a little bit longer.
Okay, perfect. Let me just show one quick picture. Kayla mentioned about the cars. And so there are 3 different cars that we can earn in Mary Kay. We have, of course, the Chevy Malibu, which most people, when they win the Chevy Malibu, it's not Mary Kay's on a full-time gig. They're working their Mary Kay business, like Kayla said, consistently, probably 15 to 20 hours a week all the time, like on a regular basis. Then you can jump up as a director to the middle level, which is an Equinox. And then, of course, the top car is the pink Cadillac. You can also take cash for any of these. So the first car, you could take the Malibu, or you can take $425 and help supplement whatever you're currently driving. But I will tell you, nothing is more exciting when your customer says, so do you have a pink car yet? And you can say, actually, the Chevy Malibu in the driveway, I just qualified for. And to watch your customer go, what? So that part's very, very exciting. So I would love to open up to any questions. If you are a guest, what would you love to know? If you could ask us or ask Kayla one thing, what is the one thing you'd love to know? She did mention we don't have a quota or territories. We do make 50% of everything we do. I truly joined, unlike Kayla, I joined just because I was broke and I wanted the 50% off. Janice was selling me all my product at retail. And when you're broke and you're living on macaroni and cheese in college, half off is like crazy. I'm thinking half off. So I joined, not to do much with this, I have to say, but once I finished graduate school, 18 months later, and then I had student loans. So then all of a sudden I was like, okay, maybe Mary Kay can help me pay off my student loans. So if you had a question, I'd love for you to type it in the chat section. I'd also like for all of our guests to be thinking about something. If Kayla and I gifted you $20,000 today, right now, and you had 24 hours to spend it, and if you didn't spend it, you had to give us back whatever you didn't spend, what would you spend $20,000 on? What do you have going on in your life that you would love? If you're a guest, just type in the chat section real quick. What would you love to spend? What would you spend $20,000 on? You only have 24 hours, and I'm pretty sure nobody would give us back any change, right? So if you are a guest, please type in the chat section, what would you spend the $20,000 on? And if you're a brand new consultant, you can type in what you would spend it on as well. But I'm always curious. We always see things like student loans, down payment on a house, credit card bills. Sometimes people will put in vacations. So if you were a guest, just type in the chat section, either a question for Kayla or what would you do if we gave you $20,000? Wedding, there we go. So Brooke must be planning a wedding. So yeah, $20,000 would make a little dent in a wedding. That would be awesome. Anybody else? What else would you do? Brandy or Brittany or any of the other guests that are on, feel free to type in what would you do with $20,000 down payment on a house. That a girl. Yeah. And nowadays, depending on where you buy a house, if it's in California, $20,000 doesn't buy you as much as it does someplace else, but absolutely every little bit helps. So if you're a guest, I guess my question to you is, I don't know if this is for you or not. I didn't know if it was for me, but I looked at it this way. I thought the discount's 50%. There's no monthly quota. And it's kind of like, what have I got to lose? I love the product. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm all in. I'll play for a year. And if in a year I don't love it, I'll go back to being a full price customer. It's like nothing ventured, nothing gained. But sometimes you have that one question. So if you could ask one thing, what would you still want to know if you were considering giving this a try? And it's interesting because if you could just type that in the chat section, that would be great. Kayla is actually part of the fastest growing age group in the company right now. Not that all of us that are over 40, over 50 are being not joining, but the fastest growing group right now, Mary Kay, is 24 to 38-year-olds. And I think it's because all of a sudden you realize maybe a family's in the cards and you're thinking, I want freedom and flexibility. I want to raise my own kids. Okay, so down payment for my parents and pay for college for my niece. And some of those messages are going to me privately, which I'm not sure why my Zoom is doing that, but that's totally good. So thank you, Brandy, for putting that down payment for your parents. Isn't that sweet? And college for your niece. So there's somebody who's very others focused, right? So what questions would you guys have if you were ever thinking about giving this a try? What would you want to ask? Or maybe you're kind of thinking, no, I think I'll just give it a try. So let me share with you really, really quick what your options would be if that is something you decide to do. Because right now, never in my 30 years with the company have they ever done a $30 e-start. It's always been you buy the $100 kit, always, always, always. But right now, that is actually not what you have to do if you don't want to. You can, of course, get the $100 kit. So I do want to let you know, Mary Kay does, through Pro Insurance, they make available to us insurance. So for those of you guys in your 20s or 30s or whatever your age is, if you don't have insurance, you have the ability through Pro Insurance to get huge discounts on your health insurance, life, dental, vision, pet insurance, theft insurance. I mean, you name it, event insurance, all kinds of stuff. So I do want you to know that is available. So some of you might be thinking, okay, so maybe I want to give this a try. If you want to give this a try, type in the chat, I'm in for free. And I know Brandy has already made that decision. So congratulations, Brandy. So what that means is that for $30, you can get an e-start and start your Mary Kay business. And for that $30, oh my gosh, you get your own customized website that Mary Kay maintains and you can set it up. It's super simple. It's like you click on 10 things and boom, you're up and running. It also gives you the ability to process credit cards through ProPay. So for $30, you can actually start a business. Now, the other option is to do the $130 start, which means you still get the e-start, but then you also get this picture on the right. It's this beautiful black starter kit bag and all this product. So you get skincare, CC cream, satin hands, over $400 of product and about another 100 in supplies. And that so for $130, you can get all of that, or you can just do the $30 package. And then the company was brilliant back in December. They thought, okay, virtual is the wave of the future. We need more samples. Nothing is greater, you guys, than being able to pop a couple samples in the mail to a friend or a family member. And when your customers do order, maybe tuck an extra sample in their bag. So this gives you an option. And again, it's not required, but you can get a $45 sampler box, and it's $70 worth of samples and catalogs for $45. And they only let you do that the day that you join. So you have all kinds of options. You can start with the 30 or the 130. So those are all possibilities. They didn't have that when I started 30 years ago, but they do now. So any quick questions from anybody? Or any last comments, Kayla, anything you want to share?
Sure. I know a big thing that I see often is, if I'm a shy person, I'm not very outgoing, I just don't have the experience of selling, I will tell you that all of that is built into your business. You get a leader, you get mentors who are literally navigating through their own experiences, sharing with you how to build from nothing. And I think sometimes people look at me, well, you grew up in a Mary Kay household. You had a mother as a national. That just means she already had everyone that I knew as a customer. So I truly had to start from scratch. And believe it or not, the woman that you see here today that's vibrant and confident and speaking was not me. I was very shy. I would hate to even be sitting in front of a room. And so I just say, if shyness, I don't know if that's any of you, but if shyness or just the lack of experience is an issue for you, know that this business is something that will actually help you to grow out of that. Okay. You can start virtually. That's definitely a plus with this business. What Diane was saying, they have that $30 e-start. And so there's so many ways to navigate not knowing many people. Maybe you're in a new place. There's so many ways to use that social media to get you started and keep you going while learning how to navigate in person to support your business. So don't let don't let that hold you back, because if I did, I would not be here today. And that's it.
And thank you for sharing that, Kayla. And it's interesting because typically people with sales backgrounds are not the people who come into Mary Kay. I mean, if you have a sales background, that's great. But this is really, like Kayla mentioned, this is really more about teaching and pampering women and being others focused. It's not about selling. Women don't like to be sold to. They like to buy. And so when you just share the product and share from your heart, and you know, the Mary Kay products are so phenomenal. One of the things I love, Kayla, is the ability to tell a woman. I think during the pandemic, a lot of people bought makeup, whether they bought it from, you know, hopefully Mary Kay, but when they went to stores, instead of going to stores, because we couldn't shop in person, they bought a lot of stuff online, whether it be Amazon or whatever. And I think they bought a lot of stuff that it wasn't the right shade, it wasn't the right color, or they've used it for a week and they don't like it. But the neat thing about Mary Kay is it's 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if Maddie bought a foundation from me or a lipstick or the skincare and it wasn't the right formula or what she wanted, whether it be in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 9 months, all she's going to do is pick up the phone and say, Diane, you know what? I'm really not happy with what I got. And I'm like, oh my goodness, let me either refund your money or exchange it. And I return it to Mary Kay, get this ladies, by an email. I throw the product in the garbage and Mary Kay replaces it at no cost to me. So when women know that they're not going to get stuck with stuff, they want that high level 5-star customer service at no cost. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Nordstrom service at Walmart prices kind of thing. They want that. They want to be taken care of and pampered. So it's amazing. And I just want to thank you, Kayla, and your vision, your passion. I think it's exciting. Your Glam Babe unit. I think that's awesome. And I just know that you are destined to have a Cadillac by Christmas. So very excited. Okay, let me ask you one quick question though, since no one's typing in questions in the chat section. What would you say of the millennials that are out there? What would you say you think their number one trigger is? Would you say it's freedom and flexibility, or would you say it's unlimited income? What do you hear out there? What do you think?
The freedom and flexibility, but also the income. And I will say, because I get a lot of questions, you know, of how to attract the millennials to a business. And honestly, I hate to sound shallow, but they want to see that you're successful. They want to be able to see the fruits of your labor. And if you can truly show that, they're going to listen. And when they are able to listen, what I'm finding is that they're excited by the fact that, you know, I don't have to work for anyone else. They're excited about that freedom and flexibility. They're excited that I can make any kind of income that I want, and on my own time. So those are the two things. You know, we're not looking for that same lifestyle that was, you know, desired 20, 30, 40 years ago. We're just very not conventional at all. And so if you can show them the success, they're not afraid of the work, but they really just want to see that it is glamorous and that they can do it on their own time and that you're going to make the money.
And it's really funny because I look at my daughter who's 30 and I look at that and I think, of course I had her when I was 12, but I think what I find is that your generation is saying, I want more balance than what my parents had. I kind of grew up being raised, you work really, really hard until you're 65. And then when you retire, you get to enjoy your life. And as I came up in the ranks in Mary Kay, I saw that's not the balance that we really should probably have. And so I started about a couple of years into Mary Kay, realizing that there really is more to life. And I love the freedom and flexibility. And now I look at the young generation of women in their 20s and 30s, and it is about, I want to play hard, but I want to work hard. I'll work for 3 days so I can go to Tahoe for 4 days. I mean, it's like, it is all about lifestyle and having all the choices.
I just came back from Cabo.
And so I think that's great. And I think that's what that's what I'm hearing a lot of the women in their 20s and 30s are saying, well, I want a family, but I want to do experiences with my kids. I don't want to be just all work, work, work.
Right. And just imagine being able to be that example for other people in your life. My mother was that example for me. And she said exactly what you said, Diane. We work until whatever, we go to school, we work job, we retire. But she broke that mold, and her family thought she was insane. They thought my father's side and her side, they said crazy things about her. Now they're so supportive, and they're like, yeah, go ahead, baby. To me, they're so excited about my Mary Kay business. You go, girl. And I'm just like, you know, if it wasn't for my mother showing me different, I could have still been stuck in that. I hate to say stuck. Engineering is not a terrible thing. But I definitely would have been stuck in something that I truly didn't desire. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you are a guest, I'm going to do some drawing. So I have guests of Brandy, Brittany, and Brooke, which is funny because they all start with the letter B. If you are a guest, so when you did not type your name in the chat section, please do that so I can give away. I think I should give away a mascara. I think there's not a woman out there who wouldn't love a mascara. Maybe I'll even give away a Fanorama mascara, which is our brand new mascara they just brought back. It is the hot craze. So if you are a guest, I have down Brooke, Brittany, and Brandy. So if there's any other guests on, please type your name in the chat section. And then I am going to give away an e-start. And right now, Brandy, you have typed in I'm in for free. So if anybody else is thinking, you know what, I think I want to give this a try, then please type in I'm in for free because we'll do a quick drawing. So thank you, Kayla, for your time. I don't want to keep you. You're totally welcome to stay on. I just don't want to keep you because I know you have another gig in the other room and you're the speaker and the honorable new hot shot. So we'll see you soon, babe. Thank you for jumping on. All right, so do we have any other guests that want to type their name in the chat section? Otherwise, I'm going to do a drawing for a Fanorama mascara. Are we good? I'm not sure who Pacma iPhone. If you are an iPhone or something, please put your name in the chat section if you are a guest. Okay, so I'm going to do right hand, left hand, and I'm going to have Lori Lagerstrom just pick a hand here in a second. I'm going to mix these up. Okay, so I've got one in my right hand, one in my left hand. Lori, pick a hand.
I'm going to pick the right hand.
Okay, and let me go ahead and mute this to stop this